Hey guys, before we get into the topic of this video, I want to do an advertisement. And no, it's not an advertisement for SeatGeek. This time around, it's an advertisement for my second YouTube channel. That's right, baby. I've been wanting to do a second YouTube channel for a while now, actually, but I couldn't really settle on what I wanted it to look like exactly. I'm still not completely settled on it, but I've started posting videos up there. By the time you're watching this, there should be at least a couple comedy sketches on there, as well as a video of me reacting to to the 17-year-old kid giving motivational speeches on Instagram. I don't know what the nice way to say this is, but Caleb kind of looks like Slim Jesus with longer hair. So I'd love for you guys to go check out that channel, and if you enjoy what you see, then subscribe to it. Okay, let's move on to the actual video itself. When people talk about star potential, they're almost always referring to high draft picks or young players who have been tasked to carry a big offensive load. Players drafted in the top 5 are almost always one and done, not because of how good they are now, but what they will eventually become. In fact, that's the reason why so many players try to get into the league as soon as possible. There's the financial incentive, no doubt, but also that if you're a prospect with intriguing potential, the younger you are, the higher your value. It's also why 4-year players sometimes go lower than they should, even though they can come into the league and play right away. And because of the way the lottery system is structured, high draft picks usually end up on bad teams, where there's little talent around them in the beginning. It means they get to play heavy minutes right away, since the team isn't winning, and then they develop their game. Hopefully they get some star teammates, and then they can start competing. But not every star follows a path like this. There are players who were drafted late, or players who didn't get any minutes in their first couple years, players who are not the first option on bad teams, but rather the 3rd or 4th or 5th options on mediocre teams or good teams, and they eventually become stars under different situations. Steve Nash, Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace, or even Kyle Lowry, to name a current example. So this video is not going to include #1 options like Devin Booker or Luka Doncic. I'm also not going to list high draft picks like Jason Tatum, who everybody acknowledges has star potential. I also realize that people have different definitions of what is a star or superstar. When I say someone has star potential, that means I can see this player making an all-star team someday. And depending on where you stand, some of these players may surprise you, but if you're a Toronto fan, for example, it should come as no surprise when I mentioned that the first player on my list is Pascal Siakam. Siakam has always intrigued me as a player because of his physical tools. 6'9", 7'3" wingspan, very agile for his size, and he only started playing basketball at 16 years old. His first 2 years in the league were very up and down. If you look at his 2017-18 numbers, 20 minutes per game, 7 points per game, nothing crazy, but still, when you watch him during games, he definitely seemed like a player that did more than his box score indicated. This is a snippet of me talking about Siakam last season when the Raptors fired Dwayne Casey. I think Pascal Siakam actually is one guy that people should really pay attention to. If this guy can learn to get a consistent jump shot, improve his handles a little bit, I think he could be an all-star. You might think I'm crazy, but I do think that. I've watched Siakam, I've studied the tape. The guy knows how to play basketball. He has the necessary tools. He's only 23. I don't think it's out of the question that he can be an all-star. So we now fast forward to this season. Siakam has taken on a much larger role, from 20 minutes per game to 30 minutes per game. He's scoring more per possession on better efficiency, and most notably, the three-point shot is starting to come along ever so slightly. And I'm focusing on offense because, first off, there was never any doubt as to what Siakam could be defensively. And second of all, as we all know, there's a huge asymmetry between offense and defense when it comes to who we label as stars. Offensively, Siakam is very dangerous in transition because of his athleticism. He's shown some ball handling ability and some shot creation, with his favorite move probably being the spin move. Most importantly, he plays hard. I can't name anyone at his size who runs more up and down the court than he does. He's currently the 3rd or 4th or sometimes 5th option on the Raptors, but if for whatever reason he ever gets a chance to do more, this guy could put up all-star numbers. At number 2, Jarrett Allen. I think Allen is someone that no matter where he ends up, he's going to be a really good player. He has the prototypical rim-running modern center that you want. Protect the rim, grab rebounds, set screens, and then rolls, kind of like DeAndre Jordan. And although Jarrett Allen is not quite as athletic as DeAndre Jordan, he's got much better touch around the rim, especially for his age. And look, DeAndre Jordan might not come to mind when you think of stars, but the guy has made 3 All-NBA teams and an All-Star team. So if Jarrett Allen ends up as DeAndre Jordan, that's a star to me. I do think that there's a chance that Jarrett Allen becomes more than just a rim runner on offense. He's shown some ability to shoot. His free throw shooting at least tells me that he's got enough touch. His shooting form also looks pretty good. So far in the NBA, he has only taken around 30 3-pointers and made like 8 of them. In Kenny Atkinson's offense, which is a very modern perimeter and guard focused one, there's not much for the big men to do. So if he stays in Brooklyn in this current scheme, he's not really going to develop a post game or anything like that, even if he had the talent. But hey, even if he stays in Brooklyn long term and he just gets better at what he already does, I think you're looking at what could be the 3rd best player on a championship team. Okay, this last pick will probably surprise a lot of you. It might also surprise, it actually surprised me that I ended up picking 3 players who are all big men. And this last player is Noah Vonleh. So Noah Vonleh was drafted in the late lottery in 2014 by Charlotte, and in his 5 years in the NBA since, he's already played on 4 different teams. So he's already a little bit of a journeyman to begin with. Vonleh came into the league one and done, 19 years old, and was just way too raw a player to be playing in the NBA. This year on his Knicks has been the best so far. He's playing 27 minutes per game, a career high, and it took him 4 years, but we're starting to see some real flashes. He's very good at taking advantage of smaller players in the post, a very physical player, as David Fisdale would note. He's also a smarter player than you might think. The Knicks obviously don't run plays through Vonleh the same way Denver runs their offense through Jokic, but Vonleh, like every other big man in the league, has to learn how to make the right passes, how to properly time handoffs, when to roll, when to slip, and he does those little things really, really well. To me, Vonleh's path to stardom has to involve him continuing to develop his 3-point shot. He's shooting 38% already, but he just needs to take more. And then it comes down to more confidence attacking the rim and realizing that he has a real advantage over many players with his combination of size, athleticism, and touch. Defensively, Vonleh is a great shot blocker. His size allows him to defend most centers, and actually when the Knicks play the Bucks, for example, they often put him on Giannis. And Vonleh is also quick enough to defend guards on switches. If Vonleh ever does become a star, he'll be a late bloomer. Admittedly, it is a bit of a long shot, but then again, he is only 23 years old, so maybe 3 years down the line, when he has his breakout season, I can replay this clip and look like an absolute genius. And here's the best part. If Noah Vonleh doesn't become a star, you guys, well, I'll forget about it. Well, that is unless I say something like, Noah Vonleh is Hakeem Olajuwon with a 3-point shot. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Like mentioned, check out my second channel. I know a bunch of you guys are still in school, so enjoy your winter break. If you're already working, I'm sure you guys, depending on your job, most jobs you have a winter break too, right? I hope you guys enjoy the rest of 2018, and I'll see you guys in 2019.